Well, it's been a couple of weeks since my last behind the scenes, behind the mirror, and it's because I've been busy. I've been extraordinarily busy. So today is part 8, and what we're going to look at today is one simple thing. How you walk out on stage makes a huge difference. And the first few bits that you do, either it's a bit or magic or whatever, helps the audience understand where you're going with whatever it is that you're doing on stage. It helps unfold the story and gives it the stage for everybody to sort of look at and understand where we're launching this whole event that's happening on stage. And for me, what I've been trying to do is get the audience to get inside of my head. And then hopefully that translates to language that everybody can understand. So today is an experiment in every version that has made sense to me. And I'm only focusing on just like the first couple of minutes. And I put a time code in the bottom of the videos so you can see just how long it takes before the first trick happens, or how long it takes before the first significant event happens that makes people understand what the story is about. So let's take a look and see what this story is all about, from the first version to the version that I'm using today. The first thing that you're going to see is the first version. Now, we've all seen it before, but we've never really analyzed the first few minutes of this act. So remember, there's a time code underneath so you can see just how long it takes before either it starts to make sense or the first magic trick happens. So let's take a look. All right, we're getting ourselves set up here, and off we go. So I've walked out on stage and I see this price tag, and I walk over to the hat, and you can see price tags sort of dangling around, and we have to understand, what is this guy doing? I mean, it's so important that you establish who you are, where you are, what time you're in, and you don't see any of that here. And boom, that's the first trick. And it took 20 seconds to get to the first trick. All right, not too bad. We're just gonna see what else we've got here. Oh, something inside my hat. Now look, I'm presenting all of this to the audience. And okay, it's a magic stick of some sort. It's doing magic, but we really don't understand, is he in a store? Is he trying magic out? It's obviously a magic shop of some kind, and he just does all of this wand stuff. And it's okay, but still, we don't know what he's doing. Now let's take a look at the purple suit version. Almost the same thing, but you don't see a hat rack anymore. You still see the price tag. And then, look at this. Nothing. No, that magic wand doesn't work. But, yep, that's a great first trick. And it's within the first 29 seconds of the act. Still, we don't understand, why did I just put money in there? Oh, now I have the magic wand that just appeared out of nowhere. But it was the wand that I had just touched on the table. Now there's a top hat here. Oh, I guess there is a coat rack. And there's a top hat with a price tag. And that looks pretty nice. But still, we don't know who this guy is. And I'm going to stop right there. So we've gone from a black suit to a purple suit, and we still have the price tags in this particular act. and I'm not sure what I'm trying to convey to the audience yet. I'm still noodling it around in my head. I haven't figured it out yet. But I'm getting it in front of people. And I think that's one of the mistakes that magicians and entertainers and artists of all kinds is that they don't get anything of theirs out in front of people until they think it's perfect. Well, it's never perfect. Okay? That's the secret. It's never perfect. And the audience helps you write the story because the audience is going to tell you what they get, what they don't get, what they understand, what they don't understand, what they like, and what they dislike. That's it. That's how it works. So now we're at the TAOM convention. Now, the first two versions that you saw were big fails for FISM competition. That was FISM qualifier 2014. 30 days later, I came up with this character, the brown suited character. And let's just see how he does. He walks out on stage and he's picking up that. See, we're still hung up on this little white rag. And again, you know, it's a, but look, the price tags are gone. And I knock over a little sign that you hear a price, you hear a cha-ching when the sign falls down. And then look, I produce some money. And it says, the sign, you can't see the sign. It says pay here. And that's when I decided to not have signs on stage because about 3 rows back, you can't see what the sign says. But here I started to get into dancing cane. And you're looking at the time code here, and we're, I know it doesn't seem like a minute, but it counts from the beginning of the clip. And we are well into the act, and nothing of significance has happened yet. So we are, boom, about a minute and 30 seconds into the act, and something significant starts happening. We understand that the guy may or may not know anything about magic, but he's trying all this stuff out, and magic is happening, and it's exciting. And the cane is a little bobble there. That's why I got rid of the cane, because every once in a while that thing would bobble. I'm going to stop. I'm going to set this up. I had a gig that I created at a hotel, and I would practice my act over and over and over in front of a live audience after work. And I came up with this version where I'm starting to dumb down the act a little bit more. Now, what I mean by dumbing down is I'm trying to take out all of the junk that is too hard for people to understand, like this. You're still going to see the signs, but now I don't have a coat rack. The coat rack is missing. So I'm starting to take all of this equipment and shrink it down. And if you go all the way back to the beginning, you'll see that there was a coat rack. There was a big sign that was behind the table that was hung up on some tripod thing. And I remember loading just this 10-minute act, and it took up the entire back of my Toyota FJ. I mean, crammed to the top. And I knew that this was the wrong way to go. So let's take a look at how this guy is going. We're 13 seconds in, and he picks up a newspaper, and and I sneeze, achoo, and that's kind of fun. It unveils a little sign down below and magic for sale, and I got to tell you, I got to figure out a way to put that production back in, or at least something like that, because it mystified me the first time that I saw it. But as you can see, he's got this, he's holding onto the newspaper, and this spirit hand comes and puts, why is there a hat, right? Why does a hat appear? Why does the money appear? We don't understand, but there is a magic moment that happens within 30 seconds. And we understand that there is magic for sale and it says pay here, but why is money appearing out of nowhere? It's not my money. It's the money that the spirit is giving me. And it makes no sense. So here I am at the livery doing the same act, but paring it down a little bit more so it makes some sense. I'm understanding the fact that in my storytelling that I have to get to the meat of the act earlier. And you notice that the newspaper is gone and the spirit hand is gone, and now there was a fly, and that's why I caught the money. But still, I have to pay here with the money, and you hear a cha-ching, cha-ching with the sign, and it's just, and then, okay, now we're introducing ourselves. The wand. The wand has now come out from the drawer in the table from the hat, and I think, oh, okay, I'm going to wave the wand around, and you're going to hear a sound effect from the back of the theater, and the wand turns into money. That's the first indication that I don't understand how the wand works. Now we're going to come, and I'm going to pause here. Let's talk about that livery show. The livery show was the first step toward understanding that the beginning is really important. I'm still stuck on the sign because everybody's telling me you need a sign. You need something to tell people that you're in either a magic shop or a curiosity shop or something. So I'm paying attention to people, but it's not working. So I thought, wouldn't it be interesting if I walk out on stage holding a map, and I'm looking around trying to find this very secret store. And so I walk out on stage, and I'm walking back and forth, as you can see in a second, and let's take a look. So I'm looking around, and it's hard to march around on stage and make it look like you're lost when you're in front of the curtain. And then, boom, the map is gone. And the curtain opens, and I'm in front of all these props. Let's take a look. And now I'm acknowledging that all of a sudden there's an audience there. I look at the audience and I go, magic. Again, I'm even confusing myself. And now I'm going, hello, is anybody there? And I'm calling out to see who's there. And what ended up happening is that whenever I would say that, the audience would shout out, hi, hello. And I'm like, this is not working. And so I would try to ring a bell to see if anybody would come and help me in this shop. And then you hear this announcement, don't touch anything, especially the bell. And when I hear that, the bell goes absolutely crazy, which you'll see here. But look, we're already 3 minutes in and nothing of significance is happening. We don't understand a whole lot about this guy, but I like the bell. The bell gets a laugh, so I keep the bell for a little while. And so I throw the bell into that box, and this hat slowly comes across the table and bumps me. Now I still do that. I still keep that because it's a little mysterious. Hats aren't supposed to move on their own. And then from the hat comes the wand. Now look at the time code. I'm almost halfway through the act and I haven't done that much. And there's that little sound effect again. And then crash. Eek. And then the wand turns into money. and I put the money into the thing. So anyway, so here we are. Now remember, the time codes go all the way back to the very beginning of the clip. So we're already 27 seconds in, and I'm saying hello, hello, but I have a new costume. A new costume that kind of places me in a kind of guys and dolls era kind of thing. And I now have the bell in a beautiful little box. And we still have the whole, hello, is there anybody there? And again, the audience is shouting back, and this was the last time that I ever did that. Now, this show was at the TAOM in Texas, Corpus Christi, and it went over really, really well. And everybody said, don't change it. And I had to change it because, you know, the bell was fun. I missed the bell, but you have to have the announcement, and it just, but if you notice something, I'm not performing to the audience. I'm kind of keeping myself away. I'm putting a proscenium between me and the audience. And this is the birth of the character, was pretty much this show, where I really was trying to discover how to perform this character without acting or being a magician. Now here I am with my first appearance at the Magic Castle in 2016, December. And I pick up a wand. Now the wand is on the floor, and I pick it up, which kind of gives it an interesting thing. And I'm walking out on stage with a candle, giving it, I'm going to stop it right here for a second. And what ends up happening with that, Tobin Ost is the one that gave me that idea. When you walk out with a candle, it gives you a sense of place, that this is kind of spooky. It's a place of mystery of some kind, because what has happened here? It's like there's no electricity in this room that he's in. Why? I don't know. You're hearing thunder at the very beginning, and rain and lightning, and you walk out, and here I am with this candle. You've seen that scene in movies all the time. So now I'm starting to get into people's heads that this could be a little spooky place. So now the candle is floating. And I love doing that effect, but it was problematic. One time it fell and almost landed in the lap of somebody in the audience. But now I'm discovering things. There's a hat hanging on the side of this contraption. And the wand, you can barely see the wand because it's a bronze wand. So, yeah. But we're starting to see the routine is starting to come to life. Here I am with a different Guys and Dolls kind of costume, walking out on stage, reacting to sound effects like a wolf howl, a door slamming. But now I'm setting the candle up on the down on the stage, and I'm going to pause it here. Notice that the mirror is now off of the table and on the floor. Now the table is just a table. So I picked up this box to see what it is, and the problem that people had with this box is that, why did you go right to the box? I'm like, I don't know. When you want to look inside of something, and it was really problematic for people. So I decided to forego the box because it was just adding confusion, and on top of that, it was just more props. The light up wand helps with this vanish of the silk. But again, we're a minute and 10 seconds in, which I found is about the right amount of time to unfold the story a little bit. And the wand, there's a fly around me, and the wand turns into this key, and the key opens the book. In a sense, the opening. Um, but yeah, the story is starting to take shape. We're starting to understand a little bit more um, who this guy is and what is happening. And the wand popping up out of the book like that uh, really did add to the excitement of uh, this is he's learning things, he's looking at the book. But now I decide let's before we go back, before we do that, let's talk about that routine that you just took a look at with the red jacket. The problem with that routine was not much. It's just pacing, and the box delayed the magic. It was beautiful looking, and the wand comes out, and I take the wand, and then the wand makes the silk vanish, and then the wand turns into the key, and the key opens the book, and all of that. But the problem with all that is that it took so much time to get to the first thing. And if you look back at the time, we're already 2 minutes in, and I've just started when this clip ends, it's about 2 minutes in. And when you only have 6 to 10 minutes, my act was 8 minutes, so that's a quarter of the act. So 2 times 4 is 8, right? So that's a lot of time to not have any significant magic happen. Now, what did happen is a lot of story kind of unfolded during that period of time. All right, moving on. This time, I decide, okay, I'm going to pause it here for a second. I change from the red suit and the Guys and Dolls era thing to more of a brown, this drab business kind of old suit. And I opt for not a candle, but a flashlight. And I thought, oh, what if the flashlight, the batteries go out? You always see that in movies. And then the flashlight turns into a candle. Now that blew audiences away. And it didn't take that long for one significant thing to happen. It happened within 30 seconds. It's now 30 seconds right now. And then the candle helps illuminate the book, and there's a flash, and now the silk has vanished, and now this wand immediately starts going crazy as soon as it appears, and there's no longer a lock on the book. So the delay of the book opening has stopped, and I still use most of this opening routine. And look at all the magic that has happened, and we're only a minute in. The wand is performing a lot of magic in a short period of time, and we're just getting into it quick. We're not even 2 minutes in, and we have this already some amazing things happening with the wand. Now here I am experimenting just recently with changing the opening yet again and compacting the magic even more. And watch what happens here. The whole silk turns into a wand midair. And then I made it so that the wand, I'm shaking the wand, and the book opens up on its own. So right away, lots of things are happening, again, in under the 1 minute mark. And I've been experimenting with how to make this wand do a lot more fun stuff. And I've changed the color of the wand from gold to red because it pops better. And yeah, we're not even a minute in. We're 55 seconds in. So yeah, not bad. And now here's the current version. Now I walk out on stage with a candelabra, 3 candles, giving it an instant. This is an iconic candelabra that you would see in a haunted house. And watch what happens here. Now this time I pick up the wand itself, and the wand and the silk vanish. I'm not sure if that's the version that I'm going to keep, and then the wand pops up back up out of the book. I'm not sure if that's the proper sequence, but this was at the FISM North America. But we're 45 seconds in, and lots of stuff has happened. And that's one of the critical things with this act, is that you try to get as much in as you can in the first few seconds that you're out on stage. It doesn't mean that you have to go crazy with lots and lots of magic, but you have to have a lot of things happen that tell the story better. And what I mean lots of things that are happening is like when the curtain opens, that's a happening. What are they looking at before you even come out on stage? And by the way, that's the end of the videos that I've selected for today. So let's talk a little bit about what is important when you walk out on stage. So when the curtains open, the way I like to do it is I want the audience to see an unfolding, that they see the scene. And the scene is a table and something covered. We don't know what that covered thing is. It might be a picture frame. It might be a mirror. Don't know yet. And it's dark. And then they see a candelabra come out. It used to be a chamber candle, but a candelabra is not something that you take to the toilet, because a chamber candle is what you would take to the toilet. Candelabra is, I'm going to light up a room with a candelabra. Ooh, big difference. So you walk in with that, and everybody has told me that it's like, yeah, the candelabra is beautiful. That is exactly the way to go. So you walk on stage with that, and suddenly the act is already starting to play in people's minds. And I think that's part of good storytelling, is you don't want people to know what the whole plot is, but it's really important for them to know time, place, and character. And then there's the motivation. You know, what does this character want, right? That is the biggest thing. What is the character's goal here? We don't know what the goal is because the character doesn't know what the goal is. The character is walking into a room that he doesn't know anything about. So there is no goal yet. And we're going to get to the goal in another video. But I hope today you understood a little bit more about why it's important to really attack with vigor the first few seconds that you walk out on stage, and really examine what you're doing so that it makes perfect sense when you walk out there what's going on with the audience. Because I think that, and I don't think it, I know that that is the rule of thumb. So with that, good luck on your magic, and I hope that you take this to heart and get better. That's what this channel's about, is making you a better magician. So I want you to do me a favor. Show this video to everybody that you know. Ask them to subscribe, and you subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet.